This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations. The in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave, here's Jason Walker.
Yo, happy Wednesday. The Jason Walker Show inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Got a big one coming up today. Make sure you get on the schedule now for Nitro Green for lawn, pest, and tree needs. NitroGreenHelena.com. Call 443-5088. Got a good show coming up, as we said. Zach Allen, the comedian, will join us. In fact, both of our guests are joining us from Arizona today, and they're both from Montana, which is kind of weird. But very cool at the same time. And trust me, I'd like to be in Arizona golfing because it would be warmer. I know we can golf here, but it's still like 34 degrees, so I'll wait just a few more days. Anyway, Zach Allen will join us. What's it like to write comedy in this day and age where, is it okay to joke about the coronavirus or whatever it's called? COVID-19 officially. But, we'll get his thoughts on that. Also, what's he been doing since he moved 10 months ago from Montana since graduation? And his thoughts on the cancellation of the state tournaments. And a whole lot more with Zach. That'll be a fun conversation, I'm sure. And also, we're going to check in with Shelby Rasmussen. She is down in Arizona, self-quarantined. And we'll talk to her about the cancellation of her junior spring rodeo season and not being able to qualify, not have a chance to qualify for the college national finals if they still take place in June down at Casper. So all that and more coming up. And we'll tell you tomorrow, John Burnett, American Legion Helena coach, will join us. Sylvan Lacrosse, rodeo coach at Providence. And then Friday is going to be, so we know there's a couple of lawsuits, Title IX lawsuits out there against Carroll College. And Friday, we are going to really discuss Title IX lawsuits and what it means for the parties involved. As a lawyer, Kelsey Trainer, will join us on Friday. So you'll want to stick around for that show. You'll learn a lot, I promise. So let's see. What else is going on? There's really, not a ton because of everything that, is going on with COVID-19. But there is some cool news I did see. We know about the Barch twins at Capital and how good they are. A couple of state titles in volleyball, co-champions in basketball. They're just juniors. They're going to be awesome next year as seniors, and they're going their separate ways. One's going to play basketball at the U of Montana, and the other is going to play volleyball at Boise State, or vice versa. I think I got it right the first time. But there's another set of twins this year that were really good, and that was at Billings West. And Maddie and Willa Albrecht, who are parting ways. And it's a great article on 406mtsports.com that talks about it. It was written by Mike Scherting, who does a great job. But the twins say they hadn't spent more than a couple of days apart, really, since they were alive. Willa is going to the University of Montana. But Maddie announced yesterday she has gone to Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's out of the Patriot League. That's a great league. And that's a really nice move, going out to Lehigh. We've heard of Lehigh before in football, but that's awesome. So congratulations to to the Albrechts from Billings West. And so what are you doing as this rolls on? This quarantining, this, whether it's self-quarantining, whether it's whatever it is, what are you doing? I want to know. Let me know. You can email us, jasonwalkersports@gmail.com. Tweet us at jwalkersports. You can also Facebook us. And got some great comments last week. I put up, what would you like to see or who would you like to have interviewed on the show? And got some great ones. We're working on a couple of fantastic ones that we're going to lock down here by the end of the week. And got some great stuff lined up here as we move forward, not knowing the next time we're going to talk about sports as a whole. I mean, the NHL canceled its draft. The NHL canceled its awards banquet. There's lots of canceling going on. And we know about the Olympics being postponed to next year. You know, will the NFL and college football be late getting started? They're talking about the possibility. I saw this on Twitter today. I believe it was Ken Rosenthal who was tweeting out that from Major League Baseball Network and Fox Sports that there may not be baseball at all this year. Like they're talking with the owners and the players unions are chatting about what to do, how pay would work, and in case there's not a 2020 baseball season. How about that? I know we've seen the NHL locked out an entire year. We've seen, work stoppages. We saw the No World Series, 94? But can you imagine going an entire year with no Major League Baseball? And what would that do for the Pioneer Leagues? We already know that the Pioneer League is one of many leagues that might not exist after September 15th this year. And with no baseball being played, potentially, or shortened seasons, and the Pioneer League is already a shortened season. It's called Short Season Rookie League for a reason. Did we see our last Pioneer League games last September? It's crazy to think about moving forward here. And we're not knowing what we're going to do moving forward. So, but we talked about a lot of serious stuff the last couple of weeks. I want to lighten things up when we come back. We're going to chat with Zach Allen. We first had him on the Jason Walker Show a little over a year ago. We had him on again. We've had him on twice. And he reached out last week, and he said, dude, I just want to talk. And I said, hey, you're welcome to come on anytime. So last night, I had a chance to catch up with Zach Allen. He'd gotten off work, and it was just a great conversation. So that's why you'll see me wearing the shirt from yesterday's show. All right. But I talked to Zach. It's fantastic. He's a Montana kid. He's super funny. He's just a good dude. Okay. And he's fun. He's a friend of the show. And Zach Allen joins us next, coming up here on the Jason Walker Show. And don't forget, in about 45 minutes or so, Shelby Rasmussen will join us, Flint's daughter and Paige's sister. But Shelby will join us. It's crazy. Zach Allen, Shelby Rasmussen, both in Arizona. And yet we're talking about them because they're Montanans. How about that? That's next. And a whole lot more still to come. This is the Jason Walker Show, and we will be right back.
More of the Jason Walker Show coming up.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Jason Walker Show, back in the Major Mortgage Man Cave. All of our guests join us via the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. That includes Shelby Rasmussen, who will join us coming up in about a half an hour from now from Arizona. Talk to her about her junior spring rodeo season getting canceled, unfortunately. How the coronavirus, COVID-19, will affect the rodeo season moving forward. We'll talk to Shelby Rasmussen, great friend of the show. And I'm going to take all the credit for her getting into the media broadcasting world. She did some great stuff last summer with Ride Pass. And I really didn't have anything to do with that. But Shelby is coming up in about a half hour. Support for the Jason Walker Show comes in part from Manscaped. After 18 months of research, Manscaped has, the engineering team confirmed they've successfully created the greatest ball hair trimmer ever. This new trimmer was just released. The Lawnmower 3.0 Manscaping trimmer is available to you. It is a third-generation trimmer featuring the cutting-edge ceramic blade, preventing manscaping accidents. You're about to be nick-free thanks to Manscaped's advanced skin-safe technology. It's improved. It is premium, and when I say premium, the battery lasts up to 90 minutes. You can take a shower with it. It's waterproof. The LED light illuminates the grooming areas, give you a closer, better shave, more precise trim. We'll go with that. How's that? And then it's also got the Quiet Stroke technology, 7,000 RPM motor. The Lawnmower 2.0 was 6,000. The Lawnmower 3.0, 7,000 RPMs. Get it now, 20% off plus free shipping. Use the code Walker20 at manscaped.com. They have hair and body wash. You've got the Crop Preserver, which is great deodorant for after the shower. You've got the Crop Reviver if you haven't had a chance to shower, want to freshen up. I'm telling you, 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code Walker20 at checkout, okay? This is a before picture, and that's an after picture, okay? Before, Manscaped, after Manscaped. And that's a great segue into our next friend who has great hair up here. He's been growing it for a while. His name is Zach Allen. He is a friend of the show, and he joins us now here from Phoenix on the Jason Walker Show. All right, my man. So it's been a little bit since we talked. What you been doing for the last year?
So I moved down to Phoenix back in May and got a job, and I've just been doing a lot of stand-up and improv primarily.
How's that been working?
It's good. You know, I tried doing it quite a bit before kind of all this stuff happened. Like I was at the point I was doing like 10 to 12 open mics a week or just stand-up and then 2 or so improv shows. So it got to be pretty busy, but I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I enjoy doing. So it was a lot of fun, and now I'm kind of missing it. But I am missing it. It's weird.
It is super weird. Were you surprised? There's a couple of serious questions here, but were you surprised at how fast everything kind of developed over the last 2 weeks?
Honestly, like, I didn't anticipate it happening as quickly as it did. But, I mean, once the NBA shut down, that was kind of like the thing for me. I was like, all right, this is probably something that's going to, you know, because that's kind of the big thing. Like, you know, once that shut down, you know, everything kind of followed suit. But, like, the day I saw that the NBA was postponing their season, I knew that there was going to be a lot of stuff. I had a show the next day, and lo and behold, it got canceled. But that was all I was thinking about just when I saw that. It has happened quickly. I don't really know how to handle it.
As a comedian, Zach, at what point can you joke about something like the COVID-19? Because there's certain things I think that comedians stay away from. You know, at 9/11, I think we're seeing more jokes about that. But things like, you know, serious stuff, and this is kind of serious. I mean, this is a world pandemic. So at what point does this become funny?
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on the angle you take it. Like, I mean, like so many people like I work with and like just people like around, like you see like memes about it all the time. Like if you can see it on a meme, you know, that's kind of the rule. Like I've been told a lot, like it's probably not that good of a joke, but you'll see like comics like joke about a lot of stuff, you know, just so like even at open mics, like you'd see a lot of stuff, you know, just about it in like the weeks leading up to it. So, you know, it's just one of those things like you got to test it out. If you think it's funny, you got to try it, but you know, that doesn't mean it's going to work. So it just kind of depends on the joke, I guess.
Hey, I've been trying that for a while now, and I don't get any response. I get crickets of course, I'm only talking to myself, so that probably doesn't hurt or help. But Zach Allen joining us, the comedian. He's from Billings, right? And went to Missoula or Laurel, right? Oh, yeah. We don't want to confuse Billings Central and Laurel here.
Yeah, go Locomotive.
He's a Locomotive. Went to the U for his degree. He is a comedian living down in Phoenix. So that first year down there, well, I guess 10 months now, what's been the hardest part? I mean, you've been doing all these shows, but what's been the hardest part as far as keeping up with the comedy down there?
I mean, honestly, there's a lot more opportunities. So that's been kind of the big thing. But it was just kind of going from like Montana where I kind of, you know, I started feeling a lot more comfortable like at open mics and, you know, just doing shows. And then coming down here, I had to get that comfort level back. And it took a long time just to get back to that point. And I think a lot of that was just like growing like as a comic and, you know, just keeping with it, you know, and bombing consistently. I've bombed so many times. That's helped a lot.
Yeah, but if you bomb, that's like getting fired at a job, right? Like you're gonna bomb, you're gonna get fired at some point. It's gonna click for you. Soon you'll be a success more than bombing, right?
Ideally, that's the goal, but
well,
you know, it still happens.
Hey, I noticed you got a beard now, and when I first talked to you last year, you didn't. Isn't Phoenix a little hotter than Montana? So that beard and then the long hair too.
Yeah, you know, I heard someone told me that it's actually cooler to have a beard and long hair. I don't know if I like believe them, but like whenever I justify keeping it, that's definitely the one thing that I think I'm like, oh yeah, it's cooler.
You do look a little bit older with the beard. I'll say that. You don't look as baby faced.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the nice thing. I don't get ID'd as much anymore, but I went out to the bars and there was a girl. I started talking to her and she asked how old I was, and I told her, and she's like, oh, I thought you were in your mid-30s.
So you were cougar hunting is essentially.
I wasn't hunting. I was just I was a bystander, and it turned into I was the one being hunted, I guess.
Nice. Zach Allen, the comedian, joining us here, Jason Walker Show from Phoenix. All right, so you and I were talking last week. You were really bummed because I had Flint Rasmussen on the show and on Friday, and you were supposed to see him in Glendale, Arizona last weekend, but the PBR canceled.
Yeah, no, I marked on my calendar for a while. I've been telling a lot of people down here just because, you know, I grew up going to rodeos and stuff, and it was just kind of one of those things. Like, it would have been fun to have like the people down here kind of experience that, and especially like with, you know, being able to see Flint, you know, and kind of show them, especially like comics. I think they'd get a good appreciation out of it, but it was a bummer, but next time it'll be down here again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're bummed we're going to miss out on Billings. So last year you were supposed to come in studio when I was still at the radio station, and because you were performing at Lewis and Clark Brewery, I missed you because I was in Kansas City with the Carroll men and the great run they made. I actually got to go see Flint and the PBR and the behind the scenes on Championship Sunday. So it's kind of full circle. I missed you, but I got to see Flint.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to level with you. That's probably a little bit of a better day. But that's fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So you went straight from the game to the PBR, or did you do it vice versa?
Well, so the game actually was Saturday. This was Sunday, so they had a day off before they played in the Fab Four. They call. We're not allowed to say Final Four in the NAI. It's Fab Four.
It's like the big game, like with Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah, exactly. The big game is coming. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, it was on a day off, and we got to see all the behind the scenes, and it was pretty cool. It's a cool deal down there, which now, you know, I feel like I'm bragging a little bit because you would have gotten that tour last weekend, and then you didn't. So I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Like I said, it'll happen again. I'm very excited. That only gives me more time to hype it up.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got 2 full years now, basically, to hype this thing up. Zach Allen, our guest here, Jason Walker Show, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. All right, so you've got some new videos up. I've seen on the YouTube or the Twitter page as well at Notorious ZAC. I got to ask you about one, and it's you're with a girl and you're the blanket with the rule with the hands above the blanket and your mom, and I mean that's just weird, man.
Yeah, that was our rule growing up. That was you couldn't have the hands under the blanket, and it was set in stone, and I adhered to it. I was a good young man.
The end of it, looking your mom in the eye, was and then your mom plays into a lot of your jokes because you had one that you're allergic to, let's just say prophylactics.
Yeah.
And you had to tell your mom this. I mean, because it works with today because you've got the coronavirus, you're allergic to prophylactics, and your mom had to check out your area.
Yeah. Well, she's a good sport about it. That's kind of the main thing. Like I wouldn't do it. She's been very supportive of everything. So, you know, it's kind of it's one of those things. Like she's, you know, I run it by her before I say it.
Well, yeah, that's
so. You know, she's been helping me out a lot with this. So, it's cool. I wouldn't have had that. Like I wouldn't be able to do that without her. So, it's
sure.
very cool.
Zach Allen, our guest here. I'm going to tell you a story about my dad, and I know my dad listens to this show. When he was a kid, he got a tick on his area, and my grandma had to burn it off of the match. So if you want to use that moving forward, you know of a guy who had, you know, I mean, I think that would be if you could come up with something to make it funny, I think that would work.
Yeah.
Because that's no fun. I think burning a tick off of your man area.
Yeah, the tick wasn't bigger, was it? That would be
I don't know. I'm sure he'll respond in a little bit. Zach Allen, our guest on the Jason Walker Show. So you reached out to me last week. You just wanted to come on and check in. I guess, were you that bored with the quarantine that was like, hey, I'm going to give Jason a call?
No, it was one of those things I've been meaning to do for a while, but like just with, you know, I spend so much time kind of driving, going from place to place. This is like the first time since I moved down here that I've really had time, you know, to kind of do a lot of the things, you know, just like writing a little bit more. And one of the things was, you know, reach out to you. So I was happy I was able to do it and set this up.
No, absolutely, man. I'll talk to you anytime because you're funny. Love following your stuff. And what's been the biggest challenge as far as, I mean, writing down there as opposed to writing in Montana? Because it's a different crowd than Montana. I mean, it really is. When you're at some of these clubs in the Phoenix area, it's not like going, you know, to Lewis and Clark Brewery in Helena or, you know, the Roxy or something.
Mm-hmm. I think like one thing that's really crazy about Phoenix, it's the 5th largest city in the U.S., but so many people that you meet down here aren't from Phoenix.
Right.
So it's just filled with transplants, and, you know, you get a lot of different cultures. You get a lot of people like, you know, with different upbringing. So, in some ways, like just growing up and like moving to a new city, that kind of helps. But, you know, just kind of figuring out like what's unique to me. I think that's like the hardest part, because like writing jokes, like, you know, I want to try to like stand out and like just be different, or at least like unique, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of been one of the biggest things, is just, you know, finding out what makes me unique and kind of running with it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. And Phoenix is just a different area too. You know, it's a lot different weather-wise. There's a lot more to do. So do you rely on, you know, the things that you're out and about doing as far as how you throw into your comedy?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of day to day. A lot of it is like stories and stuff. A lot of it's I'm very self-deprecating, and so that's been one of the easiest things, is just being able to look at myself and laugh at myself. Just because I make some really horrible decisions just in a lot of like everyday life. It's good, you know, just being able to like look at, you know, what I'm doing and just kind of make fun of it.
Well, so what kind of things are you self-deprecating about?
Like just like my decision-making process. Like just like a lot of times, like I'll get in my head about things. Like someone, like they got asked like if I've ever had homemade bread, and I told them no, but in my head I was just like, you know what? No, I have had homemade bread before, but I couldn't like bring it up to them and just be like, oh, remember what I said earlier? It wasn't true. I made it up. I have had it. And just like
that is awesome. Zach Allen, our guest here, Jason Walker Show from Phoenix. So what are you doing for real work?
I'm in social media marketing. I'm basically a call center consultant.
Nice. I've seen some advertisements for that up here in Montana, like work from home and be the guy in India answering the phones.
Yeah. No, it's not I mean, it lets me do what I want to do. That's kind of the main thing with it. And it's a good skill to have going forward. So, I mean, I can't really complain. I live with my parents, so that helps a lot too. My mom and stepdad down here.
Okay, so what suburb are we in? We're not in Phoenix, so where are we at?
Scottsdale.
Okay, because I got a buddy who lives, I think, in Gilbert.
Okay, yeah.
Which
like
is right
Chandler.
there. I mean, they're all together basically anyway.
Yeah, you're closer to the direct flight. You got the Allegiant right by the Chandler Gilbert Gilbert Airport.
Right. Zach Allen joining us here, Jason Walker Show. All right, so are you a golfer? And have you played much?
I'm not a good. So that's the thing, actually. I was playing more this summer because the rates were so cheap. I paid $100 at the beginning of the summer, and then I could play 18 holes for $15 for the entire summer.
Nice.
And so when it was like pushing like 120 degrees, like I was going out a lot. And then as soon as the weather started getting nice, the rates started going up. Like the same course is now at like, or it was at like $60, $80, depending on the day and time. So it's just, I just got to the point I couldn't afford it as much. So I also started playing really bad, and I just kind of used that as an excuse. I'm like, I got to take a break.
Nice. I did see though on your Twitter page at Notorious ZAC that you were watching your beloved Grizzlies lose for the fourth straight time to my Bobcats. How was that in November for you?
It wasn't even a good game. That's like the worst thing about it. So I watched there's a bar down here. It's called Duke Sports Bar. A comic down here, he hosts an open mic. He works there, and he told me about it. He's like, yeah, if you love Montana football, they show the Grizz games every Saturday. So in the fall, I was going down there, and I was just meeting people like all over the state, and just kind of hanging out, watching Grizz games. But for Cat Grizz, the bar was completely full, probably like close to like 400 people.
Wow!
Just from like Montana State, and that made it even worse just to watch. That definitely added to it.
4 years in a row, man, and Bobby's back. Is he gonna get this thing turned around?
I hope so. I think he's moved us in the right direction. And like the thing is like we had a good season, like one of our best seasons in a while, and it's just unfortunate that Cat Grizz was one of the worst Cat Grizz games that we've had in a while. So, I mean, you take that game aside, it was a really solid season.
They did have a good season.
Fun. Yeah. Amari Toure, like that was just him breaking out all year. That was fun to watch. I'm going to miss Dalton Snead, but it's good. We're moving in the right direction.
Hey, I got a chance to interview Dalton and Dante Olson. Those two guys were fantastic. And as big of a Bobcat fan as I am, I had a lot of respect for both of those guys. So that was cool to see. What I really like, Zach, is that you're a Grizz fan, but you say Cat Grizz like it's supposed to be said.
Yeah, I never liked Grizz Cat. I mean,
it just doesn't sound right.
No, I like it better when it's like it has to be consistent. It has to be consistent throughout the whole state.
Well, see, here's how I do it. I go Cat Grizz because it's alphabetical, but then I go Montana State because that sounds, it goes alphabetical.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, we can work with that, right?
But then if you do University of Montana and Montana State University, then it flips back the opposite direction.
Right, yeah, MSU or UM. Yeah, see? Zach Allen joining us here. All right, man, I got to know this. Like I said, the weather down there, how many snakes? Because I'm trying to convince the wife to maybe someday move to Phoenix because I want to raise my daughter on a golf course and make her a pro so that I don't have to ever work again. And she's 22 months, so I got a long time. How many snakes have you run into in your 10 months?
Not one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I hope she's listening.
Yeah, they stay away. Like if you're hiking, I haven't been hiking in a while, but you know, when you're hiking, you'll hear a little bit about them. Like people will say, be like, "Oh, there's a snake up there." You know, it's kind of just like grizzly bears and like that sort of thing. Like if someone says like there's a grizzly bear up there, you go the opposite direction.
Smart.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah.
But they kind of stay away from people for the most part. That's what I've heard. And you know, in fact, I haven't seen one. That leads me to believe they don't have their eye on me or anything like that.
Well, that's good because I am deathly afraid of snakes. So even a water snake,
they are terrifying.
Absolutely.
I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah.
Zach Allen joining us. Go ahead.
I went down. They have a herpetological center down here.
Wait, a what?
And a herpetological, so it's like a reptile park, and I love turtles. Like
okay. So it's not the study of like herpes.
No, God, no.
Okay.
That would be a more depressing park. But they had an entire trailer filled up with some of the most deadly snakes. Like they had a black mamba. They had I think it was like 20 different snakes, and just chilling in this trailer. They had cobras, and just walking through it. Like that was an eerie feeling. Like each snake had like 2 or 3 like planes of glass in between me and them.
Oh.
And all I could think of was just one of them like bashing their head through 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then just coming out and getting me.
Right? That's a legit fear.
Yeah. They got brass knuckles on their tail.
But they're not in like the yards or anything? You haven't, so they don't hang out in people's yards? I've heard that story. They climb the brick walls by the swimming pools and all that.
So I don't have a yard. I'm in a condo, so that is nice, and it's really populated. I think if you're in a pretty populated area,
okay,
you don't have to worry about it as much. But you know, if you're on like the outskirts, that's when people have to start worrying about it. But
okay, well, good. Yeah. Maybe someday I can convince her. Hey, what was your
Yeah.
thoughts on Montana High School Association canceling the state tournaments and having 16 co-champs?
I felt bad, like, you know, just the fact that they didn't cancel it right away. You know, it's kind of one of those things where, at least like for the teams that didn't make the championship, they don't have kind of like that what if, you know what I mean? But then, you know, for the teams that the 16, you know, 16 of those teams, they kind of have that what if, you know, what if we actually got to play? So I feel bad for the teams, you know, I feel bad for like a lot of the parents, a lot of the coaches, just because, you know, they don't really get to see, you know, they don't get to see their kids really go out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't get to see their friends go out just in their last game. You know, just kind of hearing around, like, I can't remember who said it, but they said like at least like when your game ends or when your last game ends, win or lose, you know it's your last game and you have the chance to take the jersey off. So I mean, like, that's just kind of it's a bummer. I feel bad for those kids, but you know, we were the last state to still be playing, weren't we?
No, there was one more that had limited fans or no fans. I think it was Kentucky.
Okay,
but they just they just suspended theirs. So yeah, it's weird. Take me back to your playing days. You were all state at Laurel. How would you have reacted as a player Friday night, knowing you're going to play in the championship, and then now I'm done?
You know, it's one of those things I haven't really thought about it. We fortunately we had the chance to play for a state championship, and you know, it's weird just because like that's like a memory like I still kind of come back to every now and again, and you know, it's just weird knowing that that's like actually something, just playing for it and having like the ability to play for it. Like that's just a weird thing I never would have thought about. So I think I would have been kind of bummed. There's not really a word to describe it because like you should be happy you got to be a state champion, but at the end of the day, you didn't even get to do that last game. So it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. You played a year at Rocky. Well, go ahead.
Yep. Well, it was like Hellgate when they cut down the nets. That was, what do they do in that instance? Do they just give like half of the net to one school?
Well, there's usually 2 nets on a basketball court.
Well, boys and girls.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know what they did with the girls. I know the Capital girls went back. They weren't even there. They got to take some pictures and stuff, and like take some pictures with a net that they had already down. Hellgate cut the nets down, and it was kind of misinformation from the tweet because the people from MSU weren't actually trying to stop them. They were trying to stop them from, each guy getting on somebody's shoulders because there was no ladder. So they just had one guy cut it all down. MSU wasn't trying to stop them. They were trying to make them be safe.
Right.
But
yeah, that did not look safe. He was like hanging onto the rim with scissors in his hand.
Right. that'd be like me sitting on your shoulders cutting down a net.
We'll get that experience someday, dude.
Oh, will we? I look forward to that because I'm only 5'5". You're not. So well, you did play at Rocky for 1 year. Bill Drykosen, he's a great guy. What was he like as a coach?
I just the fact I just said that's a classic Bill Drykosen phrase. He was a good coach to have. Yep. I was a redshirt. I didn't really play, but I mean, he's won a national championship, so he was kind of a guy you're always kind of willing to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a nice guy. He cared. He took us over to his house a bunch of times. You could tell he was really invested, just in the players. So he was fun to play for. I think if I was in a different, if I wanted to play basketball a little bit more, I think it would have been a little bit of a different experience. But he was still fun.
When are you getting back to Montana? Anytime soon?
I don't know, actually. I was back. I went back-to-back weekends in August for a wedding and a bachelor party.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so and then I went back for Thanksgiving, but that may be the next time I go back, either Thanksgiving or Christmas. But I'd like to do some shows up there again. That'd be fun.
Have you had any indication of when you might be able to get back to the comedy?
No, actually. I've been doing Skype open mics, actually. That's kind of which has been an interesting thing, but, I just did one last night, and it wasn't the same, but it was at least good, because it's something I do because I love doing it.
Right.
And, like, just being able to have, like, that feeling a little bit, like, even if it's not the same, just getting that same little feeling, like, I'm like, all right, I'm back into this mindset. So, but to answer your question, a lot of clubs are closed down here until April.
Right. Yeah, same up here too. So,
yeah.
Real quick, take me through a Skype thing because you're sitting by yourself, or do you stand? Is it legit stand up, or are you doing sit down comedy at this point? And you don't get that person in the room reaction, right? I mean, how different is that? How hard is it?
It's really different, especially because right now I'm trying out new material.
Oh.
So I have no idea if it works. I think if I'm going to keep doing it, and it very well could just be like absolute trash. But, it's different. I mean, it's not that much different than open mics because a lot of times you don't get laughter at open mics anyway. But, it's so different, but it is good for like the timing side of things. Like, I mean, like you're really out there, like really perfecting the timing.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as delivery goes, it's pretty good, but, other than that, it's just so different.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I sit here every day and talk to myself for an hour, but, I'm not funny. So I'm not trying to make people laugh.
You're funny, Jason.
Well, see, I appreciate that, but we're running short on time, but give me some new material here.
All right, so
And we're not on radio, so it doesn't have to be super clean, but somewhat clean.
well, that's the other thing too. Sorry, I'm going to go off on this. So I used to be pretty dirty when I was back in Montana, and since moving down here, I've kind of learned you get more opportunities by being clean. So a lot of times, like, I'll start out being very dirty, and then progressively, like, try to make it more clean, just so it's more, just so you have more opportunities. And it's kind of weird, like, going from that, like, people down here, like, think I'm a clean comedian, and in my head, I'm like, I'm so raunchy.
That's true. Some of those guys, I mean, you look at like Bob Saget, everybody thinks of him as this clean cut, wholesome, dad on Full House, but you hear his comedy, it's completely 180.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah.
So give me a good one.
All right. So I was talking to a woman, and she told me that she was an aspiring author. I feel like at that point it would just be easier to say that you're not an author. Like, I asked her, I was like, what stage are you in? She's like, oh, I'm in the brainstorming. I was like, that's exactly where I'm at as an NFL quarterback. I'm just in the brainstorming phase of being an aspiring Super Bowl quarterback.
I like that. See,
yeah.
I hold on. Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Got a little rim shot. I think is this.
Yeah.
This is what I usually hear.
That's probably what I'll hear. And give me a couple more Skype mics. I'll be here.
Oh my gosh. Hey, my man. I appreciate you reaching out and getting on the show again. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. Don't be a stranger, especially through this, this whatever we're in, quarantine for the entire country. We might need some comedy relief. So, reach out anytime you want to come on, my man.
All right. No, I really appreciate that, Jason. Always a good time.
Take care, and hopefully I get a chance to come to Phoenix, and I'll run into you down there.
I look forward to it.
That is Zach Allen joining us, and what a great guy he is. You can follow him at Notorious ZAC on the Twitter. If you wanted to see any of his stuff, follow him on YouTube as well. All right, quick break. Coming back, that last segment brought to you by Rutgers Furniture. Shelby Rasmussen joins us next.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rutgers Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rutgers, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rutgers Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Everyone knows about Dinner's Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinner's Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinner's Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com. Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. Yeah, we're going to go past 5 o'clock tonight again, but hey, it's our show, right? On this day in history, still to come, the walk-off, a whole lot more. But it is time to welcome in our next guest on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. She has been a friend of the show, well, since we've been doing the show, but she's been a friend of me. I guess we're friends. Shelby, are we friends?
Yes, we're totally
okay.
friends.
Trying to phrase that the right way. Because you've always been my go-to when I needed high school rodeo or college rodeo or NRA or anything. Shelby Rasmussen joining us here, but you're my go-to, and I figured, you know what? I need to go to you again, so thank you for joining us.
Well, I'm happy to be the go-to. Thank you.
Hey, I'm taking credit before we get into the deep stuff. I'm taking credit here because you've started doing some media. You started announcing with like Ride Pass last year, and you're breaking into this analyst stuff. I'm going to take all the credit right here on the Jason Walker Show, and I trained you.
Yeah, exactly. I think you would totally deserve the credit. But yeah, I love all of that, and it's been fun getting into it for sure.
All right, so you're stuck down in Arizona, but you're with your mom, so that helps out a little bit, right?
Yeah, not a bad place to be stuck here. It's about 75 degrees today, and we've been spending our quarantine time in the arena, which is nice.
So you're getting all the practice, which a lot of sports can't do, which that is great because you can still go out and do things.
Yeah, exactly. We've honestly been able to do more, and it helps being here, but we can still be in our arena and be on our horses, which is nice. At least it hasn't completely shut us down.
Shelby Rasmussen joining us, and you're in Wickenburg, Arizona, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Just around here near Wickenburg, yeah.
So where in relation to like Flagstaff or I guess Phoenix is that? Is it south of Phoenix, east? Where are we at?
Yes, we're south of Phoenix. I'm only about 20 minutes here. I'm between Wickenburg and Phoenix, actually, where I am.
Oh, okay.
And it is cowboy country. It's Team Rover capital of the world here in Wickenburg.
Really? Because there's guys in Texas that would argue with you.
I know, but especially winter. Like I was here also Christmas break, so December and January, and there's a roping to go to every day. And still, even with all this going on, there are roping still going on almost every single day. I competed in one this morning. So
well, that's great because you still get a chance to now to work and make some money, not knowing what the future lies in store for us, right?
Yeah, exactly. It gives us still something to work towards and to be able to get out of the house to do and yeah, make money. Like a lot of people, this is how they make their money. And so it's nice that we're still given some of that opportunity, even with everything going on. Shelby
Rasmussen, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show. All right, so the bum news that came out last week with college rodeo getting canceled, you don't get a chance now to head to the CNFR. How tough is that?
It's really tough. It is tough knowing that what we worked for all year and all winter and now coming down here. I mean, our plan coming to Arizona was hit it hard in preparation for spring rodeo. So it's really hard to then get the news that not only will we not have our spring rodeo in the whole season, but for me, no chance to CNFR this year. It's a hard thing to grasp. So just trying to work towards next year and see a little past June.
Do you think the CNFR takes place?
That's a tough one. I think it really will depend on how things progress. I think they really want it to, but it is a very large event. So I think it'll be just something they have to keep an eye on. They make a final decision May 14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your sister gets to go, and she's in quarantine, self-quarantine up in Washington, right?
Yeah, she's in Washington there with her boyfriend there on a ranch. But yes, she's technically the region champ for the goat tying, so she'll be there in the goat tying if it happens. So that is exciting.
Yep. So the nice thing is, though, Shelby, you're only a junior, so you get a chance to come back and hit it hard next year and qualify again, right?
Yes.
Well, that's good.
And actually, yes. And then National Intercollegiate Rodeo just announced yesterday that all of us will get an extra year eligibility as well. So I technically could have 2 years now that our season got canceled. I don't know what I'll do school-wise, but that is nice that they have given us that opportunity.
Well, let me ask you this, because that is fantastic news, and I was going to talk about that because it's not just for seniors, it's for the entire rodeo community that's in college, 11 regions. So this is great for college rodeo. But with you, you're set. I know you're smart. You're set to graduate on time, but could you go get a master's or go from there?
Yeah, I definitely could. And I've definitely looked into that. I will graduate next May, but a master's now is definitely a possibility. And, so that's a great opportunity as well. And technically for me, I could have done that just new in the college rodeo system. If you go to get a master's, you can have a 5th year. So It doesn't change for me necessarily, but maybe those kids that needed another year to graduate or want to go to double major now or stuff like that, it opens up a lot of doors for those kids that our season got cut short.
That is fantastic. I was talking to your dad about this last week. I think the greatest college rodeo the CNFR is cool. It's better in Brick Breeden Fieldhouse, but the spring rodeo at MSU, that's such a bummer because it's such a great rodeo.
Exactly. That is the coolest rodeo atmosphere I've ever rodeoed in. And I've been to the CNFR. I've been to some of the big ones, and that is the best rodeo and the best atmosphere for sure. So that was a huge bummer for all of us and the whole community of Bozeman, really.
Oh, for sure. Shelby Rasmussen joining us from Arizona on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, so your dad's saying that he thought he was a bigger influence, and he says you're a great BSer. Did you get that from him?
Yeah, I think that's what he was.
Oh, that's fantastic. I was stalking your Facebook. I got some great pictures. There's one of you and your sister and your dad at Bobcat Stadium. This would have been the last fall, I guess. It's a great photo. Do you get to keep the old vests?
No, actually, we had to turn those in, and a bunch of them got auctioned off actually at our banquet that we had just at the end of February here, but now we have brand new ones. I don't know if we'll get to keep the new ones or not, but we did not get to keep the old ones.
Oh, I was hoping to get one to hang up here. I'll have to get a hold of Coach Bolich and see if I can to get one to hang up here in the man cave.
Yeah.
How cool, though, President Waded Cruzado, you guys all go over for dinner, and she comes out with these new vests. That's awesome.
Oh, it was so exciting. We were all stoked, and they're awesome, and now we have to wait a little longer to use them, but we're all so excited at the new vest.
That is true. They'll still have that new smell on in September when you guys go to Dillon and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, tell me about carrying the flag at the football game. I know the rodeo team leads the football team out at Montana State every game, but what's it like to carry that flag out?
It is the biggest adrenaline rush. That is the funnest. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to explain it, but that is the funnest atmosphere to be in, and that crowd and being at that game, it is a blast. It is the funnest part of the fall, maybe besides actually rodeoing, but it is an adrenaline rush, and it is awesome.
Hey, Shelby Rasmussen, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show. I got to ask you this, because you were president of the National High School Rodeo Association.
Yep.
Coming from Montana, and you've had such a great thing. High school rodeos, how would you handle this as president with the high school rodeos moving forward for the spring?
You know, I think they're handling it well, and I think just move day by day. You know, not make any huge moves right away, but just go day by day and try to do what's best for everyone. And it's tough to be able to say what to do, but just go day by day and help give these kids every opportunity they can get, still being safe and following all the guidelines for sure.
Well, yeah, because high school, they don't get an extra year like the colleges are going to. All right, Let's go back to your last summer. You're at the high school finals. You did a lot of stuff for Ride Pass. What was that like, seriously? Because it looked like you just had such a blast.
Oh, it was a ball. And it was such a different summer for me because I've spent all my summer since I was little just rodeoing, going to NRA rodeos, going to pro rodeos when I got old enough. So I stepped back last summer and I did the Ride Pass and the commentary and kind of the behind the scenes of rodeo, and I loved it. It was another way to apply some knowledge, and I loved just being there and doing rodeo a little differently. It was a love that I found.
So being now in the media, how different do you look at the world of rodeo when you're behind the scenes as opposed to getting ready to compete all the time?
I think I really use critical thinking. I really pay attention more. I pay attention to the production. I try to watch a lot of the live broadcasts and the TV. So I think I just pay a lot more attention, and my brain's always kind of working on like, okay, how would I go about this, or how would I make this better, or how. So I think it's just using, now that I've been behind the scenes, kind of now going forward and moving into my career, just really always thinking how I could use my knowledge and what I know to help something or to learn more about rodeo.
That is awesome. So are you going to quit rodeoing and then become a commentator full time, or are you still going to continue to hit the trail?
Hopefully do both. That would be nice.
If there's anybody that can do it, it would be you. You're such the work ethic that I've seen since high school both you and your sister, it is amazing how much work you guys put in behind the scenes, whatever it is, whether, you know, it's track with your sister Paige or, you know, ride pass with you and just in general with schooling. It's been awesome to watch you guys both grow up.
Well, thank you. And I think it's my sister and I definitely push each other, and we've had an awesome support system. Both my mom and my dad have really pushed us and supported us, so it's been fun.
Shelby Rasmussen joining us here. A couple final questions. I know you're busy down there in Arizona. All right, so which horse do you have down there? Which ones do you have? Petey down there?
I do. I brought 4 down here, and then my mom had 3, so we have 7 down here.
Oh,
so
wow.
I pretty much have all my horses. But yep, I have Petey and Lucy and Ice Cube and Felix.
Didn't you have Dave? Was Dave one of them too?
Yeah, and Dave's now just retired, just hanging out at home. So he's up in Montana.
That is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me about. So Ice Cube is new.
Yeah, Ice Cube, I kind of just started using in the past few years. Petey got hurt one summer, so Ice Cube kind of had to step it up. But now in college rodeos, I team rope and I goat tie on Ice Cube.
Okay. I know you can't see, but okay. So, gosh, there's a great picture of a horse, and I can't tell which one it is. Tannish?
Yep, that's
Okay.
probably Petey.
Probably Pete.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. You got some great photos on Facebook and Instagram, and I've given the credit, so don't worry, I'm not stealing photos. A lot of people worry about that nowadays. All right, so if we're allowed to rodeo soon, are you going to be up in the Montana circuit? Are you going to stay NRA and PRCA, or just split in one or the other, or what are we doing?
I don't have a for sure plan for the summer, but I'll probably do both. I'll probably PRCA and NRA. I'm really excited because pro rodeo is adding so much breakaway roping, and that's kind of what I've really focused on these past couple of years, and I've really found a love for that. So I'd really like to go to a lot of those big breakaway ropings. Some of the biggest rodeos in the country are adding breakaway roping. I'd really love to go rope at Cheyenne Frontier Days and stuff like that. So I haven't made a for sure plan, but I know I'll be around and I'll be NRA rodeoing and pro rodeoing and trying to hit some of those bigger ones as well.
How nice is it to see breakaway being added into more rodeos? They're giving women more and more chance to compete in the world of professional rodeo, not just barrel racing.
It is so exciting. This is an exciting time for women in rodeo, and to have that chance to rope and do a couple events in a rodeo, it's just awesome. And it's a great time to be a roper and a cowgirl, and rodeo is getting more and more exciting.
It definitely is. And there's nobody that does it better than Shelby Rasmussen and the Rasmussen family. You guys have always been friendly to me, and I appreciate it. Love the family from everybody. And we'll even like your dad occasionally. So.
Yeah.
So when do you leave Arizona? When are you allowed to leave Arizona?
I don't have a for sure plan. I'm definitely staying through the weekend and then going to kind of play it by ear on how much gets shut down here and what getting home looks like. So I don't have a for sure plan. We're thinking maybe next week, just because it is getting warmer at home and I have other animals there and stuff. So we'll see. It'll kind of depend on everything that's going on as well.
Hey, and real quick, you've got to still do online class. Let's not forget about that. How's that going?
Yeah,
how different is that?
It's very different because we're not in school, but a lot of my classes, I still have to tune in to a live lecture at class time. So it's easy down here to be out in the sun, but it is different, and we're all learning. I think all of us students and teachers and everybody's learning, but it's going to take some adapting for sure.
No question about it. Well, like I said, you can do it. You can handle it. You're awesome. Shelby Rasmussen joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. We're going to let you run, but take care. Safe travels home, and let's chat during the rodeo season.
Sounds great to me. Thank you.
That is Shelby Rasmussen joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Appreciate the Rasmussen family. So very cool. And they always are accessible and available to help out when we need, and love them. And that includes Paige and Shelby and Flint, and then, of course, Will, the announcer. So, all right. Yeah, we're running late, but hey, whatever. It's our name. It's our show. We can do it. Let's do On This Day in History. Oh, by the way, Shelby Rasmussen brought to you by Dinner's Done Right. That's what she said. Make sure you stop by Dinner's Done Right Cafe Zydeco, the Mother Lode, and get signed up for to-go orders, okay? Call in your order, curbside delivery. They will take care of you at all of our great food sponsors, Dinner's Done Right, Cafe Zydeco, and the Mother Lode, which brings you today in history. It is National Medal of Honor Day. It is Manatee Appreciation Day as well. The first horse race in America took place on this date in 1668. How about that? 1934, the first Augusta National Invitational Tournament, which later became the Masters. Horton Smith hit a 20-foot birdie putt on the 17th to get the win. There were some basketball tournaments won on this date. Wayne Gretzky became the first NHLer to score 200 points in a season, 1982. 2017, the largest banana split ever was made, 8,040 meters long. That's what? Almost 3,000 feet? Something? I don't know. But it was made in Australia. Did the ice cream last that long? It had to be just disgusting to eat afterwards, right? Happy birthdays today. Howard Cosell was born on this date, 1918. Cheryl Swoops, 1971. Danica Patrick, 1982. And happy birthday to Elton John, the Rocket Man. Reginald Kenneth Dwight was born on this date in 1947. How about that? He is still going, too. His final tour. The final tour, we think, this time around. All right, let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
All right, big thanks to Zach Allen, the comedian, for joining us. And, follow him, Notorious ZAC. You can follow him on Twitter and also check out his videos on YouTube. He is a funny, funny dude. Shelby Rasmussen, appreciate her joining us from Arizona as well. And good luck down there and travel safe. And thanks again for taking some time out. What an absolute sweetie she is. Love talking rodeo and life with Shelby Rasmussen. She's great. Tomorrow on the show, John Burnett will join us. Speaking of rodeo, the new rodeo coach up at Providence, Sylvan Lacrosse. Great dude. Known him for a few years. He is fun to talk with, and we'll talk to him tomorrow, too, about his new job at Providence. And then Friday, we're talking Title IX lawsuits with Title IX lawyer Kelsey Traynor, attorney, will join us on Friday. Hope you had a great one, and thanks to all of our sponsors. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Jason Walker Show.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.